designed to Sean.
And we want to be your Potown heroes, your source for all your budget Pokemon needs. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Potown Heroes, your source for all your budget Pokemon needs. I'm Rhyhorn Trainer Steven.
Designed to Sean.
And welcome to a new segment we're wanting to start calling Friday League.
Friday League, huh?
Yeah, this is kind of where we're just going to sit down, relax, and talk with you guys about a lot of the funner stuff that's coming down the pipeline.
Technical stuff, issues in the format.
Yeah,
issues in the format, complaints in the format.
Yeah, pretty much all the kind of stuff you would talk with other players at a Friday League. Is this super broken? Is this bad? So on and so forth. So this is kind of where we're just gonna relax and talk to you guys. So if you guys enjoyed it, or if you guys would like to see more of this, let us know down in the comments. We definitely read all the comments, and we're looking to improve the best we can. We've already been doing this almost a year now.
Yeah.
And we're only wanting to get even better to try to stand out from a lot of the other tubers out there, but still give the good, relevant information. And
one of the first topics is double colorless.
As a matter of fact, yes, so we want to use this space to kind of get on our soapbox and give our own opinions on things.
Like double colorless, Lusamine, Lieutenant Surge.
Exactly.
We do understand the problems with these, but more of it's like, well, you look at the broader spectrum, it's only affecting one format.
Yeah, so first off, let's start with the obvious thing that's been talked about for the last month since we went off air, and that is double colorless energy.
Should it be banned?
Should it be banned? Now, here's the thing. There's been several arguments about this, including you're pretty much in one of two camps, either ban DCE or get good. I'm personally more in the get good, on the get good.
I also want to not ban a particular card because another card exploits it so well.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of these rulings are going to basically fall around the same, more or less, Pokemon, as it's been breaking the format since it's induced.
Yeah, so
even though it started out as an okay card.
Yeah, so if anyone hasn't quite caught in the subtlety of that, I think Zoroark is like the main problem. The Zoroark GX.
There is not a card that has so adaptable, and every printing, every set has made it stronger or given more tools to play with.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, in the next set, they're coming out with another Zoroark, which is even stronger, or it puts a limit, but twice as high as all the other stuff.
But the thing is, the new one's more riskier because you have to rely on the one resource you have to have for the deck, Pokemon. And you have to have, 10 of in the discard for at least to be able to do significant damage. So out of 16 Pokemon, 6 of it's on the field or in your hand.
Yeah,
the rest
pretty
of it's
much.
Discarded.
Exactly.
Whereas Zoroark just needs 1 energy. And its only weakness is it has to evolve.
Yep. So, yeah, the thing is double colorless energy, it's a very, very good card. If you actually look back at a lot of our decks, a lot of those decks kind of need DCE in order to run. As a matter of fact, Wednesday we had Noivern on. A while back, we ended up doing a Raticate list, which actually relied on DCE. There's so many of our decks that rely on DCE, and let's do a thought experiment. Okay, DCE is now banned. You cannot use any more DCE.
All the decks this now hinders versus one deck more or less still progresses.
So, you know what? This deals with Zoroark. Zoroark is no longer able to set up as quickly or attack just as hard.
Okay, in Zoroark Control, what's the main energy? What's its main purpose? To stall.
Exactly.
Only attack if they need to.
But now, with that, decks like Noivern, gone. Colorless decks are now having to go a turn at a time.
Serena is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
New Kanga is basically limited to fastest acceleration fort.
Which would be Fairy.
Either Fairy, Quagsire, Naganadel, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can accelerate right to it. And just pick your type.
Yeah.
So you got metal, lightning, water, or fire.
Exactly.
That's what has acceleration.
Yeah, so to be honest, yeah, you get to deal with one deck, but not really.
You don't get to deal with the issue that's at stake.
Exactly. You
It's-
just slow it
it's-
down a turn.
Well, and when you look at the last year's worth of tournaments, at least a third of it's been a Zorg variant or higher.
Exactly. Like it. Okay.
Zorg insert card here is a very adaptable format. Thing is, it's just Zorg plus thing and plus whatever flavor it wanted to play that day.
Exactly. Like you probably have heard us said on the channel that expanded is just standard with Versus Seeker, which I guess now
Plus eggs, plus N, plus a few other support. We wish we had in standard to a point.
Okay, so I guess now the best way to put it is expanded is just standard with N. Standard now is just Zoroark with friends. Like that's really the best way to explain standard. Buzzwole.
And to prove my point, it says hypothetically Zork's not the problem. Imagine, say, Koga, the card that's just recently been revealed. Now could be used as a counter to the one card that's been its nemesis the entire time it's existed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything called Buzzwole.
Yeah,
So
because
now it can deal with Buzzwole and knocking itself out, going into its turn, and
exactly, because of the fact, if you really look back, Zoroark's always been it's been adapting, and even then, it's always been at least gone no lower than like tier 2, even in the height of Buzz, and Buzz was everywhere. Zoroark
and
was
it's
still
the only one with a deck in tier 1.
Exactly. Like if you go through like on Limitless TCG, you go in there and you look at all the tournaments within the last 6 months, 3 months, a year, you'll see Zoroark variant after Zoroark variant after Zoroark variant.
Malamar, it sometimes creeps in there nagging nail, but no, it's been Zoroark.
Yeah, I mean,
and then counter.
Yeah, so now it's at a point. It's either you're running Zoroark or you're running Rogue, which is anything not Zoroark. So
Zoroark variant, but yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like,
so what's the issue? Double colors or a card that's able to use it so well?
But even then, like, you can deal with Zoroark. Yes, it's very annoying and it's very specific, but you can deal with Zoroark.
Yeah, just prevent him from doing his tricks.
I mean, again, like I said, I'm part of the Get Good camp. So obviously, we have Wait and See Hammer. We have Enhanced Hammer. We have Crushing Hammer. We have Enter Portal. We have Crunch Attacks. We have so many ways to get rid of energy, especially special energy. Faba, you don't have to deal with it again.
Probably its only weakness.
Exactly.
So you had to Faba 4 times.
Exactly, but so
minus how many they prize? Because
so why do that, or why ban DCE when you have so many options to get rid of it? Well, Zoroark control makes things hard. No, it doesn't. I mean, we are bad scrub players, and we can deal with Zoroark. Not well, mind you, but we can at least deal with it.
Well, some decks are easier to exploit than others, or have fewer fallbacks.
Exactly.
Or setbacks.
So, to be perfectly honest, as far as I'm concerned, DCE shouldn't be banned. I'm part of the Get Good camp, but I can see where the issue stems, and I do think it's in Zoroark, and I think that's... Now, the thing is, how do we deal with Zoroark? Do we...
But outside of weakness, then what?
Exactly.
That's why Buzzwole sit around for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with all the saggy things running around.
Yeah, so...
You thought Sega would have wheeled out Buzzwole, but no, we just need Buzzwole to counter Zoroark. To the best of its abilities. And here shortly, we might not even have that.
So yeah, worst case scenario, I mean, just keep running Buzz variants until we find something that can really deal with the Zoroark. But in the meantime...
Most is enough, because, well... Something needs to get Zoroark in check.
Or if you want to run more than a Zoroark variant or Buzzwole, I highly suggest hammers, Crushing Hammers, Faba, Wait and See. I mean, take your pick. I mean, there's several different ways to deal with it. And then, so yeah, that's my personal view on it.
Don't ban a card that I wouldn't ban a card that helps so many decks. Then once you get rid of it, it just makes the deck that was at the top more of a problem. Because it can still run its own energy. It just DC is more consistent.
Yeah, and DCE helps so many other decks.
The thing is, in Zoroark control of a deck, what's its main attacker? not Zor.
Mm-mm.
It's Rangaru.
Yep.
Zor's just there to pick out things that are causing a problem.
Yeah, it's if I remember correctly, looking at the deck, it's similar in build to the Raichu Rangaru list.
It's shock lock with
Yeah.
more control.
Exactly.
Except you have a 210 hit point Pokemon that the only thing it fears is Buzzle, and it doesn't really. It's topping, and Buzzle's barely hitting top 4, top
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, so $1 million questions. Should DCE be banned? No.
No,
It should.
I think, and to a point, I think Pokemon needs to be a little smarter than producing something that's as efficient as Zor.
Well, considering the fact Eevee used to get all the love and attention, and now it's going
Or
to
Pikachu.
Zoroark.
And when did Raichu? When was the last time Raichu chopped a tart at all?
I think before rotation,
Basically shortly after Magnezone printed.
which was around rotation, and even then it was running Pachirisu.
Yeah,
It was
because
doing
they had
the-
Nuzzle Pikachu.
Yeah. So once all the good stuff went
early game and a late
expanded,
game. Keep
although
energy on the field.
we have ideas for Raichu, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So yeah, that's pretty much our
DCE.
view on that. So there's been another 2 issues going on. So the question is, do we go ladies first, or do we do the veteran first?
Mm.
You know what? We are gentlemen here at Potown Heroes, so let's go ladies first. Lusamine.
This card didn't see any play until Vertiger was completely gone out of standard.
Exactly. I think even we're kind of guilty of that, not running Lusamine until.
Lusamine took a little while. Kind of like, well, there's a new card that's starting to see play, only because a trash doesn't exist in standard anymore, nor does Pokemon Ranger. They kept it from really doing its thing.
Mm-hmm. So.
Chimico. That affect the attack where you can't play anything ability. You can shut down an entire decks.
Yeah, I can't.
They really can't attack on their basic Pokemon.
So I think what the main issue with the Lusamine is the fact that you just recycle your supporters, which
the only issues I see with that is the stall decks,
yep.
which they're designed is to stall the opponent.
Exactly. I mean, this is no different than puzzle decks during the last rotation. It's no different.
It's a little slower because it's a supporter doing it but in conjunction with Lieutenant Surge, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
But even then, puzzle of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had ways of getting stuff back. Junk Arm and Sableye Junk Arm?
You got a Sableye.
Yeah, so we've always wanted to get stuff back from the discard. Lysander's trump card. I mean, that's another perfect example.
Well, that got
banned almost immediately. But
got banned at the conclusion of a regionals. That happened right after it got printed.
And then, of course, Propagation, which just allows you to keep playing the same discard fodder all the time. So, to be perfectly honest, a Lusamine engine really isn't anything new. I think a lot of people are just getting scared because of the veteran in the room, Lieutenant Surge.
Which allows you to play more than one supporter per turn, so long as you're losing.
Exactly. So, if there's people out there who don't know what the new Lieutenant Surge does, it's if you have fewer prizes left than your opponent,
you may play 2 more supporters after Lieutenant Surge is played.
Mm-hmm. So you play Lieutenant Surge, and then you have 2 additional plays.
One being Lusamine, the other one being the supporter you want to play that turn.
So it functions fairly similar to the Dual Brains Magnezone.
Except for the fact Dual Brains is something you have to put on the bench, whereas one can be used pretty much every turn.
Exactly. So I'm honest.
More efficient mill, but think of that. I can't really say that's not inefficient and expanded because, standard getting a 300 hit point Pokemon.
Yeah,
so it has a 300 hit point Pokemon.
So the thing is with Lieutenant Surge, I honestly don't see Lieutenant Surge causing too much of an issue in Standard because of the fact the main
don't
cards
have a whole lot of mill cards that Expanded has.
Exactly. I mean, we'll have Team Skullgrunts, Plumerina, Lusamine, and Faba.
And Lusamine is the only card in Standard that's causing the issue.
Yeah, so to be perfectly
helping cause the issue.
Exactly. So to be honest, in Standard, it's not going to be super strong. Yes, there will still be some clutch. We've already came up with a couple of good ideas. Like I've thought of Lieutenant Surge, Team Skullgrunt, Judge. That way you get rid of their energy, give them a new hand, and then just keep this
here's
going until they
another one.
have no energy.
What are 2 stall decks that are really just starting to creep down from the bigger tournaments that, well, they're just releasing in Japan now.
What do we got?
We got the Onyx.
Yeah, that's true.
We got Onyx, and we just got one, Whaler. Magikarp Whaler.
So you easily
you just swallow with the 300 hit point Pokemon and hope for the best. Because outside of Grass, even Gillespie needs a twice band one shot on an impression.
But even then, this might make Garchomp a little bit better because of the fact you go Lieutenant Surge.
I'm thinking about putting one in there just because I can do Fan Club and then Cynthia right after.
Exactly. So in Standard, it's not going to see a lot of play. Expanded,
Lieutenant Surge, I think you have to have all 3 cards in hand as you play Lieutenant Surge. You play and then play and then play.
As far as I know, it's just you can play, or you may play 2 other supporters during this turn.
During this turn, or right after?
I'm pretty sure it's during this turn. So you can play them at any time.
Something tells me they might have to go through re-editing for like Cyrus did.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see when it actually gets printed in English. But I'm pretty sure you can play 2 additional supporters this turn.
Because why would they? You just wait on the end of the turn with the Cynthia or Lily.
Yeah, because that's going to be the best way to do it. But now if it's you may play 2 other supporters after this, then it might not be as horrible or as broken or over the top as a lot of people think.
Then you enter expanded format, which I can see where the card could be an issue.
Exactly.
Because you got stuff like Handiworks, which is just a Flare Grunt, where you can play Flare Grunt and Handiworks at the same turn.
Yep, and then just Versus Seeker.
And that's just 2 Augmented. Those are the 2 main ones Gets has got banned, but that's hypothetical. Gets was still in form. You can go Gets as the Delinquent.
Exactly, and then you've got the what am I thinking of? I can't even think of the combo right now. But yeah, I mean, Lieutenant Surge is definitely going to open wide and expanded, but I honestly don't see it doing a lot of damage. I can see it getting
any kind of a limitation / ban.
Although
for expanded only, because it has so many cards that can exploit the effect.
This is true. Although now I just remember that combo. So it's Lieutenant Surge, Brock, and Brock. So with that whole setup, you can easily just load up an Onyx within like 2 turns. So
and now Onyx you can do, like I said, Onyx, Brock, and then attach one per turn.
Exactly. So you're pretty much getting set up as soon as you possibly could. So it's that's pretty much my thoughts on Lieutenant Surge. It's not going to be too broken expanded or standard, but it may be a little harder to handle in expanded. But
I can see it being held and expanded for a bit because we had a card like Baby Lele. They waited a year to be printed because they didn't want it to break the game too soon. Exactly.
So if anything, you're gonna see a lot of Surge, Flare, and Maxi or something along those lines. But if only there was a way where we could stop supporters from getting played from your opponent's hand. I mean, if only we had cards like Kabutops or.
And actually, that's the issue. Kabutops is actually one of the Kabutops and almost are 2 cards that are helping cause the ban of one particular card.
True, but even then, we've been shutting people down for years. I mean, Seismitoad, anybody? Anyone remember this? Quaking Punch, double colorless, 30, you can't do anything next turn? I remember. Yeah, so yeah,
and Jolt, that's a different deck. But controlling your opponent is always going to be a thing. But the thing is, how easy you can do it and preventing them from playing.
Exactly, and to be perfectly honest, with a lot of the lock decks and control decks and everything else that's been in the past, there's no reason why this would be an issue. Now, I can understand it leading to the ban of Maxi because
Maxi allows you to bench, say, Almastar or Kabutops early game.
Exactly.
And Kabutops goes, cool, I go, escape from, now you can't play supporters going into your turn.
Yeah, because...
And I need 2 energy attachments.
Exactly. I mean, they've been doing it they've been going the Archie route with Blastoise for the last year or so.
A year since Archie's was printed.
Yeah,
and got more efficient as he got more pieces, and
then Primal Groudon with Maxie and just about anything fighting right now. I mean,
Maxie is the reason why Archeops got banned.
Exactly. So
because it was allowing the ability of it to come into play too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Stop your opponent from evolving entirely, except for Wally and Eversoda.
Yeah. So,
or just force the evolution to begin with.
That's very, very true. But again, I don't see Lieutenant Surge making a huge impact in Standard. Yes, it's going to be a good card, but I don't see it breaking the format.
I could probably see it being an early push for it being not banned, but looked at again. But
yeah, but
I think it might become another Lysander's trump card where it's a little too strong for the format it's in.
I don't think so. If anything, it's going to be broken and expanded, but no one cares about expanded. I don't care about expanded at all.
There's some decks you would love to be able to play, except for the energy and.
Yeah, but the issue with expanded is it's literally just the decks from last year with more stuff added. That's it. Yeah, I would love to bring my Rhyperior level X deck in. That was a super strong deck. It's super powerful. Add a couple things, and I can make it even stronger.
That's a little bit past Legacy.
It's definitely Legacy. It's Demon Pro Block. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's pretty much saying I'm going to a tournament with a Rhyperior level X deck.
I know I'm going to go to a tournament with a deck I know works, and I don't want to adapt.
Yeah, that's
adapt as much as Zork allows you to adapt.
Exactly, but even then, the expanded tournament is just that. Hey, here's a deck that won 2 years ago. Let me just spruce it up a little bit and then go right out there.
A lot of those decks 2 years ago don't work now.
Yeah, but
or a card that was in that allowed to work is now banned or doesn't work.
Yeah, so to be perfectly honest, yeah. But even if that were the case, it's just old combos with shinier skins, and that's what all expanded is. So as much as we don't get us wrong. We definitely know that expanded is good. It keeps the fan base alive. It makes it so you don't have to upgrade your stuff every couple months. We totally get that. But if Pokemon's going to continue with championship points and such, I honestly think it should be standard on, because
I can see to October, November getting people set up for the next changing gears, but not all the way into February.
Exactly,
expanded.
Tournament after tournament after tournament expanded before we finally get a standard tournament. So, and again, I totally understand this is just us talking out our butts because of the fact we don't go and do the tournaments and everything else. But I'm working a full-time job. He's going to school. I hoof it almost everywhere I go. We're not able to go to a lot of the tournaments we want to. But who knows? Maybe if we get a big subscriber push and everything else, we might be able to do this for a living and actually go to tournaments and show the hilarity that is, Noivern.
Us.
Yeah, or us.
Our shenanigans. They work here.
Yeah, and
for the most part.
On occasion. But yeah, so that's our little rant on that.
With one of my only wins being with Sceptile, even though it was against Blacephalon of all decks. Yeah. It has one clear counter to the deck, but
yeah. And then we also wanted to take this opportunity to kind of let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. So one thing that we're actually kind of at odds at right now are the hype videos. Because of the fact,
everybody has a hype video now.
Yeah, everyone's got a hype video, and even then, I'll give you a perfect example of why I don't want to do them with the chain of events that was this last set.
Kind of hard to polish a turret that's already being polished.
Exactly. So not only do they get low viewership, but also another thing. So if you guys recall,
not to mention Japan's now in our sets.
Now. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So a perfect example was Gramble. If you watch the hype video, we end up seeing the Gramble. I got really excited because of the fact we had already kind of built a variant of it, like back in the day with
before one of our recordings for it, it got released in Japan, winning a tournament.
Yep. So
a week after, a older card, but functioned the same card, got shown as well, winning or doing really well in a tournament in Japan.
Yep. Well, here's pretty much the timeline of events. So the whole set got released. We did our hype video. We find Granbull. We're like, yes, we want to run that card. That card is hilarious. We already kind of built an engine way back with Slowking. I think we even bring up in the video Slowking. Like, we can just run that engine. Then about 3 or 4 days later, the WASI ended up bringing up the video.
We were even able to open the packs.
Yeah, before the packs were even open, the WASI had already done the video talking about how Granbull went 9-0 at a tournament in Japan. I end up watching that video and like, you know what? This is actually a pretty good list. It makes me wonder if we can do this with Slowking. So that Thursday, ended up building a deck, took it to league, tested it out, figured out its major flaw is that its damage output is way too low. You're not knocking out key targets. You're not even doing a really big dent to those targets and everything else. So Slowking works, but you really have to be going against the matchup. Couple days later, the WASI ends up putting out another video where somebody ended up taking that list, modified it so that it runs Slowking, and won a major and did several wins in a tournament because of the fact it worked very, very well against the meta, which we were hoping.
When half your meta is Balls, and the other half Zor.
Exactly, you're at least taking on half of it. Plus, Ultra Necrozma is running around, so it was
regular Necrozma.
So it was dealing with.
I think it was when Beastblock was still big and all the Naganales are weak to it.
Exactly. So it had targets that it could knock out to get prizes.
And then Baby Naganale came out in the same set. So being able to one-shot these.
So now, at this point, we've already talked about the card.
So we can't
It's already been built, proven, and repeated. And even the variant that we were going to do with it end up getting built and shown off and talked about how being good.
We can't really bring any new shenanigans with Japan doing our shenanigans.
Exactly. So how it's like, yeah, we can show off fun decks and everything else, but if Japan, it's kind of hard to do the hype videos when, first off, Japan's already getting the cards before we are, a couple months, which honestly, I don't have as much issue with that, oddly enough.
They were the ones who created. I don't care much. I just wish the timelines would be closer, so we don't get as much of a surprise.
That one I will agree with.
This is the 21st century. We're in an age where we're getting the next set stuff. We got the set logo and the set stuff before it even is released in Japan.
Exactly.
As it's releasing in Japan for 9A.
Yeah.
We're already getting confirmation of the other half of the set.
Yeah, like it's January. We already know what's...
We're looking 6 months ahead, and we're already seeing 3 months from now.
Yeah,
what's happening.
Yeah, we already see the May set. Like, we already know a lot of the stuff that's coming in the May set. We even know more stuff that's coming in the May set.
It's not the fact it's the surprise factor.
Yeah. So if what they would do is they release the set in Japan and we get it in English like a month later... That would be super cool. That way there's not as huge of a gap.
Japan already covers all pretty much the biggest decks they're already going to see.
Yep.
And we get a chance to go, cool, this isn't thought of yet, and release a video at the same time as Japan.
Exactly. So that's our personal thing. But even then, we can't really do hype on...
When it's being hyped 3 to 6 months before we even had a chance to even think about it.
Exactly. So again, with that Granbull example, we did the hype video. I love this deck. We're going to feature it on the channel.
Goes 9-0.
And then it goes 9-0. So proves that it's effective. It proves that it's a very good list. It was
a nice surprise.
Yeah. And then we end up saying, you know what? We can do we can do a sub variant of it. That gets tested and proven and shown that it's very good. And then you have so it comes to a point where...
Did you see today's video?
I have not seen what today's video is.
Remember that little, what's it called, Kyurem?
Yeah.
That we mentioned?
Uh-huh.
Just one. That new Kyurem? Just one.
See, this is kind
And
of
the
thing.
set's only been out a week.
Yeah, and
in Japan.
that's the thing. Like, we're wanting to test and show off decks, but Japan's doing it for us. And
I already knew that was going to see a thing.
But even then, what we want to do here is try to come up with fun budget decks that not a lot of people are showing off, not a lot of people are talking about. And to be perfectly honest, we're probably going to try to stay away from like the Japan hype because of the fact, again, everyone's gotten to it before we
tried.
Yeah, we tried once, and that ended up going kind of south. I will admit, there was one moment that I'm very, very proud of, and I'm not sure if you guys remember this. So, like a month and a half back, we ended up doing a video with Gigalith. Yes, so we did a video about Gigalith. Now, I will admit, this is possibly pure coincidence. I will be the first to admit this. It may be coincidence. However, we did the video on Gigalith. We put it out on a Wednesday. I want to say that Friday there was another team called Shuffle Draw 5, Shuffle Draw 6. It's something like that. But they end up posting a little description thing, wondering if Gigalith is a good card. It's like, yes! Finally, so we're making some recognition. And then I think a couple days later, there was another team who ended up bringing up Gigalith. And it's like, yeah, cool. We kind of worked outside the box and we got people talking. And that's what we want to do here at Potown Heroes.
Granted, it would probably be the best if Quagsire got an alternate type.
No.
But
no.
Then you just turbo Buzzwole, and then that just becomes
exactly
an issue because now you got something as fast as Orc that can put it in play.
If
but
not
the thing is,
faster.
Quagsire Naganale has already proven that water decks are now example, Kyro. It now allows it to be as strong as it should be.
Yeah.
Now we got one example. Well, several examples, but that's the clear one. Like a week after it gets dropped, it wins the tournament.
Exactly. So
I mean, auto paralysis is nice, especially when you recover it every turn. What can you do with paralysis? You only have so many goods on the switches.
Exactly, and there's not really a lot of decks that capitalize on the paralysis anymore. Not like what was it? But there are a couple cards that actually took advantage of the paralysis.
I mean, paralysis is your strongest condition, so.
There was Ariados that did damage for special conditions. But yeah, there's a couple things that deal with special conditions, but even then, that's kind of fallen to the wayside. But, so yeah, as of right now, I honestly don't think we're going to do any more hype videos because of that reason. However, we don't want to cut something off without at least letting you guys know. So, what I want you to do is go down and let us know if you would like to see hype videos, and if so, how could we handle it? Because we want to make sure that we're giving you the budget perspective on fun decks and things that maybe a lot of people haven't thought of or thought are just horrible and bad. But we want to make those heroes shine.
Yes.
Because of the fact something that could be 50 cents can be just as destructive as something that's $50. And that's what we're hoping to do. Was there anything else we wanted to really talk about today?
Not really.
Not really? All right, so
I mean, I have a new chapter I want to try to open up, but that's to be covered in its own subject.
Yeah, so we're kind of gonna use these Friday videos to talk about what's going on in the community, maybe hype up a card that's super broken or decks that are super broken and that kind of thing.
But at least it's not that they're broken; you're not aware of their potential.
Exactly. So
that's the difference.
So we literally just want to set this up. When a card
starts getting potential, you start complaining about it.
Yeah, so we just want to set this up a lot like you would be talking to your friends at a Friday League. If you guys enjoyed this type of format, let us know down in the comments. While you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Become a Potown Hero yourself. Hit us up on PTCGO. We are Po_Town_Heroes. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/PotownHeroes. As always, may all your games go well and may the top deck be in your favor. Till next time.